What up everyone, my name is James and today we're going to be reviewing the VPN service Torguard. Named similarly to the anonymous communication software, Tor, Torguard takes a similar approach to anonymity and packs its VPN up the wazoo with hugely configurable security options. However, the learning curve may be steeper than you think. With that said, if feeling like you're in the driver's seat when it comes to your internet security sounds appealing to you, watch on to see exactly what makes Torguard tick. As always, we'll first be examining the service's price structure. Upon hitting Torguard's landing page, you'll immediately see the services they offer, not limited to just the VPN. This also includes anonymous proxy or email services, or a bundle that combines all three services, including their VPN. That aside, however, we'll definitely be examining the VPN in specific. Navigating to the pricing page, we'll list out Torguard's subscription options. The website does list 4 plans to choose from: the monthly at $9.99, the quarterly at $19.99, a semi-annual plan for $29.99, and the annual plan at $59.99. One subscription option that's hidden until you proceed to the purchase page is the biennial plan, so 2 years, and that goes for $99.99. So overall, pricing wise, Torguard is definitely cheaper on most fronts than top competing VPNs out there, and for the plans, you get a 7-day free trial. Upon choosing a subscription for Torguard, you'll also be presented with various add-ons which range from dedicated IPs to upgraded premium networks. These add-ons will run you $7.99 a piece. For this review, I pretty much just chose to roll with the monthly plan as usual. I didn't tack on any extra services. Torguard accepts credit card Stripe, PayPal, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Litecoin, as well as a few other payment options. Ultimately though, once you've purchased a service, you'll then be taken to a confirmation page, which will then redirect you to the download page. When it comes to downloading and installing on either desktop or mobile, the process is simple. Torguard supports most of the major platforms out there: Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS, and Android, as well as Chrome and Firefox extensions. The Windows download in specific is nice in that it lets you specify the drive in which you'll be installing. This is something that other VPNs tend to skip over, and they install to your C drive by default, which I find annoying. On mobile, simply hop on over to the app or Google Play Store and give Torguard a download. Okay, so next, let's talk about the application itself, because this is where the mobile and desktop version cannot be more different in terms of user friendliness and configurability. So, starting with the mobile version because it's on the easier end of the spectrum, the home screen is super simple with a few options to tap on. The main ones here are obviously the connect button and the server location menu, where you can pretty much navigate through a list of Torguard servers. Back on the main menu, you have a favorites icon in the upper left-hand side that lists all the servers that you've dropped a heart, aka favorited. Then lastly, the settings icon in the upper right-hand side will then take you to a pretty straightforward sections menu with only the option to configure auto connect, connection type, as well as your dedicated IP if you decided to purchase that add-on. For the record, the mobile version only allows you 2 protocols, IPsec and IPv2. Moving along to the desktop, this is where things get much more configurable, but unfortunately, much clunkier as well. Initially, the Torguard app appears to have a small desktop form factor, like some really well-designed VPNs out there like Viper and ExpressVPN. However, that's where the similarities end. I don't know if it's because I was recording on a 4K monitor, but the interface didn't really scale up as well by default in our testing. And one design flaw I noticed is that if you try to resize the app window with the hope of making things easier to see, well, you're kind of out of luck because it does scale up to fill the screen, but does nothing to adjust the size of the text or drop-down menus. One way to fix this issue is if you do go into the settings menu on the general tab, check out the high DPI scaling factor, which does increase the size of the app with respect to your monitor, but again, trying to scale the window has no effect or bearing on text or menu size. So on the other hand, touching on the settings menu, this is where you'll find a wealth of heavy customization options. The general tab giving you lots of auto connect configurability, as well as the options to configure the app's appearance, as previously mentioned. The app kill tab is essentially Torguard's version of a kill switch for specific apps. In the event that you lose Torguard connectivity, it will automatically shut down any applications you list in this window. Skipping over to the network tab gives you many options to customize the way Torguard interacts with DNS connectivity, as well as some leak preventative options for WebRTC and IPv6. So this brings me to connectivity issues that arose during our testing that I felt like I needed to bring up in this review. And I want to preface this section by saying this experience might be completely different for you depending on your network setup and your connection settings. So the app in general may have been incredibly intuitive and it breezily get a connection going for you. And if so, then I'm genuinely happy for you because not gonna lie, did we have one hell of a time just simply attempting to connect to various servers with the default settings. So by default, the settings in the network tab, prevent IPv6 leak and block outside DNS are both checked off, which according to some troubleshoot articles I pulled up, prevent the client from detecting an IP and thus preventing you from doing any sort of connectivity while connected through Torguard on OpenVPN. This was further reinforced by the Torguard customer service rep who I chatted with, whose solution to troubleshooting the connection issue was unchecking block outside DNS, as well as changing Torguard's name servers from the default OpenDNS to Google. This is in addition to a list of other setting options that he had me configure. All in all, the fixes did work. After a PC restart, I was able to connect to a server and get a verified IP address, but more problems arose after disconnecting from the initial server. For instance, after a successful connection to Dallas in the United States, disconnecting and then reconnecting to a server in Germany or Brazil, for instance, would cause another connection error where the client wouldn't be able to detect an IP address unless another PC restart was made. As you can probably imagine, in our case, testing 8 different servers multiple times a piece for our speed test segment was made a whole lot more tedious because of this issue. Now granted, I imagine for most of you, you're not going to be flip-flopping between servers and running crazy benchmark numbers like we tend to do whilst testing a VPN, but even then, I think a PC restart for even something as minor as one server change is definitely an inconvenience. So overall, our take on the Torguard UI is that compared to other VPNs, which are just a lot more user-friendly and just straight up work right out of the box, or in this case installer, Torguard had a lot more hoops to jump through before getting it into a semi-working state. Admittedly, I'm not a network expert, so maybe some of these troubleshooting steps would have come a lot more naturally if I was, for instance, more network savvy. Maybe some of you guys out there are more network savvy, but as a paying user of the VPN, it would have been really nice to have something that was a little more intuitive straight out of the box, especially when you consider that some of the default settings can straight up prevent a connection in some cases. That said, I do have to commend the efforts of the Torguard rep who assisted me in getting a connection set up. They stayed on the chat line after a few PC restarts, and they did help get me up and running. So I don't mention customer support enough in these VPN reviews, and that's mostly because I don't typically have to deal with a VPN customer support in the first place, in most cases, but it's nice to know that when needed, Torguard staff are definitely helpful if you have any questions about their VPN. So taking 10 steps back from these issues, yes, there are some UI and connectivity issues that can create a steep learning curve in user friendliness, but if you're a network savvy individual who has no issues troubleshooting a connection, you'll find a wealth of configuration options at your disposal. All right, so moving along to security and privacy, this on the bright side is definitely something that Torguard does excel at. And when running properly, it becomes one of the most powerful and secure VPNs on the market. There is a host of different encryption configurations that you can customize whilst connected to any of Torguard's 3,000 plus servers. 2 of these features are called Stealth VPN, S-Tunnel. Stealth VPN 4443 is a port that can be selected while connected through Torguard. It wraps your OpenVPN connection in SSL and TLS encryption, reroutes traffic through a typical HTTPS port, and masks your connection as normal internet traffic. Stunnel, on the other hand, is a useful option that allows you to bypass blockages in universities, public Wi-Fi, hotspots, or even censored countries. This adds yet another layer of encryption to your VPN tunnel, especially when you're trying to connect to places such as work or other areas with strict internet restrictions. At this point, I think it's a given to say that there were absolutely no DNS, IP, or WebRTC leaks in our testing. So lastly, we'll be taking a look at Torguard Speed. With its emphasis on security, as well as the previously mentioned connectivity issues I presented earlier, it might be easy to dismiss Torguard as a VPN that experiences slower connectivity speeds. However, that's far from the truth, as Torguard does perform admirably in the speed category, even whilst connected via heavier cipher encryption methods such as AES 256 CBC. So with that said, after some tedious benchmark tests, we have a VPN that performs very well whilst giving you powerful security. Our benchmark for this round of testing was 13 ping, 71.19 down, and 11.59 upload speed. In the US, we tested Torguard servers in San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, and New Jersey and averaged 54 ping, 57.42 down, and 8.93 upload speeds, roughly equaling a 122% difference in ping, 19.34% download decrease, and 22.95% upload decrease. Worldwide, our combined tests for Brazil, Germany, Japan, and Thailand averaged 178 ping, 47.51 down, and 5.14 upload speeds. That is a 173% difference in ping, a 33.26% decrease in download speed, and a 55.67% decrease in upload speed. So, in hindsight, these speeds draw comparisons to other VPN services such as CyberGhost. You're obviously not getting blazingly fast speeds like top tier VPNs like Express or Nord, but at the same time, you have to take into consideration in many cases, you will be running through a much more secure VPN tunnel with some of Torguard's features enabled. So to wrap things up, what are our impressions of Torguard? Well, to put it simply, it's not for the faint of heart as far as the majority of VPN consumers go. As someone who's admittedly a fan of minimalist and easy to use VPNs that work right out of the box, for instance, Viper VPN, Express, or even private internet access, I couldn't shake the feeling that Torguard was inherently clunkier as a VPN. Not to mention the connectivity issues initial setup to get the VPN running did create a barrier between my user experience and the testing. However, with that said, there's no denying that once properly set up, Torguard is hands down one of the most secure and powerful VPNs out there, laying down layers of encryption whilst maintaining respectable VPN speeds anywhere in the world. If you can get past its more complicated configuration options and a clunkier UI, Torguard affords you one of the most customizable security sets in any VPN and one of the most secure VPN tunnels on the market. So that'll do it for this review. If you found it helpful, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could drop the video a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section down below what other VPNs you'd like us to take a closer look at next. And if you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe. Again, my name is James and I will catch you on the next one. Peace!